there you have it. Proof you could actually boil water in a canteen cup in a setup. Okay, yep, we're all set. Okay, hi. So I'm not a YouTuber. Technically speaking, I'm not a YouTuber. I just like recording stuff and putting it here on this channel because it's free hosting. But once in a while, I do like making video uh, replies or video reviews of various things. You know, if anyone's subscribed to this channel, that's what I usually have been doing. So I don't do this on a regular basis, only when uh, things happen. And in this case, there's a video by Boondockery. So let me just bring my notes up. So he made this video called Canteen Cup Cook Set. Great idea or a disappointment. So because I've also been trying to create a set like this, you know, a canteen cup cook set where I could make tea or coffee or cook rice and noodles and all that, and I wanted it to be in, you know, a canteen cup cook set. So for those who don't know, there is such a thing as this like GI military kind of canteen, and with this canteen, it comes with various accoutrements such as canteen cup. So for those who've seen, you know, some military people have canteen cups like this, so we'd have this. And the idea of a cook set is that it's supposed to have its own stove. So this is the very first sort of stove that I've done, and I think Boondockery also did the same thing. I'll be linking the video in the description that I'm responding to, and he tried all sorts of stuff that I've also tried, and in the end, you he couldn't actually get the water to boil. Get it hot enough to make tea, possibly coffee, but not even boil. Um, and I've gone through the same sort of issues where I couldn't get it to boil. To get it to be hot, but not hot enough. And if you can't boil, you can't cook. So, good news and bad news. I have found a way to get this to boil, but I can't get it to boil long enough so that it could be able to cook. So that's what we'll be doing today. So this is the original like stove that I bought, and I'll talk about it more. But let me set up the kit that I actually have that actually works. So it comes with this particular bag. I forgot what the name of the brand is called. And the stove that I'll be using is something that I actually, you know, made. I don't know if you guys could see this. Um, it's just a normal soda can stove. And the reason why I had to make it using a very small 200 ml coffee can so that it could actually fit inside the pocket in here. So that's the stove. In here is the small Nalgene bottle that contains the, you know, methylated spirits. So we'll be using that. Inside, I have, let me just take out, so that's the canteen cup lid. And then I'll explain what this is shortly. Let me just, it's a bit of a tight fit. I wanted it to be snug because I didn't want it to take too much space. So this is my other canteen cup. It's virtually identical to this other one, but it's in a bit off center. So obviously a knockoff somewhere, and the actual the actual stove. So there have been discussions online about what's the difference between a stove and a burner. So this is the burner, this is the stove, because without this stove, this burner can't be able to cook anything unless you could like suspend um, indefinitely your cup on top of this stove. Now, um, when I first got this, it didn't have these little stands. It was just like, little holes with little raised sort of stuff at the top. And it was meant to be used like this. You put the stove right here, put it like that, and you're going to cook with the cup on top like this. Now, the problem with that is that before I had these, a lot of the flame, because this is sitting flush with the, with the stove right there, a lot of the flame would go out through these sides, and it would heat up the stove but not heat this up. So it would heat up the water, but it wouldn't actually boil it. Now I thought, hang on, what if I had some spacing so it didn't have these little um, silicone caps here. I just wanted to put some space so that I could be able to cook on it with some space on it. So that actually kind of worked. It actually got the water to be hotter than it was before, because the flames could now shoot up from between and actually bathe the cup. However, because most of the flames would hit the stove first, it would still heat the stove up, and a lot of the heat is wasted. Now, I used it in this configuration for a very long time. I was very, satisfied with just having it hot enough to put a tea bag in or add some coffee in it and all that. But it still wasn't like I could cook with it. I needed it to boil. That's when I saw on the online that there's this cook kit. That's the NATO, is it the BCB, um, Mark II uh, cook kit or something. I forget, but I'll link it in the description as well, or probably have a picture somewhere around here. But the way they did it was, it's exactly like this, but they had a little sort of thing that folded over so that you could have the stove in here like so, and then have the cup stand over here. So I mean, there's still a bit of metal there, but that's not like the big sheet of metal down here that will absorb most of the heat. Most of the heat will go into this cup. So with that, I actually got it to almost boiling. And this is what this lid is for. By having this lid, you could actually get it to a proper boil. So what I'm doing in this video is I will try to boil water, and I'll be doing it in real time just so you'd see just how long it takes to boil this water. This little metal thing, I put it in there if I use solid fuel. So I usually keep it in this sort of cup, and there's this like pocket that holds all of the stuff inside, and the small pockets where the stove and the Nalgene bottle is. So let me just go and fill this up. Just very quickly fill this with methylated spirits. So it's essentially an alcohol stove. You have to be very, very careful in filling this up, because if I'm not, it typically spills. Alcohol flows out of there, and it flows into whatever table and through the holes, and I mean, it burns up rather quickly, but not quickly enough. I've actually singed a few wooden tables. That's why I'm using this aluminum table over there. So I could put the stove right there, and I'm positioning the legs there. And this one I just made out of a coat hanger, so I don't know if you can see it. I'll just bring it as close. I just got an old coat hanger and then bent it into shape, so just so that I could be able to put it on the lip like this, and I could put water inside. I'm just getting water from this canteen. So this is the actual typical military canteen. This is a Nalgene uh, bottle made to be shaped like a canteen so that it could fit. Now I like this better because it's transparent. I could see if there's still water inside or if it needs any cleaning. Now this canteen cup is supposed to have um, around 900 ml or thereabouts, or 600. I forgot. Essentially, I'll put it on the video just how much water there is, but it can boil that much. Oh, looks like I forgot my lighter. I'll be back, but first I'll just cover this up. Okay, wasn't gone very long, just inside. So now that I have the methylated spirits put in, I'll light it up. And even though it doesn't look like it's lighted up, well, actually, let me just, yes, it is lighted up. I'll put that right there. So because it's I don't have a lot of wicking inside that stove. Um, I I should have, but I didn't. It was at that time when I didn't put some wicking inside the stove, so it'll take a while to bloom. But I want to put the cup on it anyway because even that little flame underneath will start heating it up. Let's see how we go on this um, cold winter day. Maybe the cold might bring it so it won't actually get it into a boil, but we'll see. Hopefully it will. Otherwise, this will be a very short video. Now, I did say that that wasn't. This isn't the very first stove I have. This was the very first stove I had. So I don't know if you've seen anything like this before. I've modified it a little bit based on, people who've made comments on videos and stuff to make it work. So the way it works as well is that it's down here, and you put the cup on top of there. But you'll see the problem because it's very hard to actually keep stable. Now that's one of the reasons why I did this entire lip thing where I'd bend it in, because this isn't actually bent in, it's actually as flat as this. So I bent it in just so that there'd be some lip for the cup to actually stand on. But when I do that like this, the flames does come out from here, from out of the sides here or the holes. Doesn't heat this up. A lot of wasted heat. Some people said, okay, well, instead of putting it down like this, look, it's already bloomed. I don't know if you could see it. It's a very bright day, so it's a bit harder to see, but it's actually bloomed. Some people say that instead of actually putting the canteen cup like this, you have to put it like this, then it should work. So there should be a little hole there and a little hole there, and it doesn't work. So some people did say that, okay, instead of doing that, what the actual military people do is do it like this. And to be honest, that actually worked. In the past, it would actually get it into a boil. But the problem is that a lot of the heat is shunted to the front and back, and it makes it harder to control, take it out of the heat. You have to have grill gloves just to make it work. So even though the military people have actually used it like this, um, after seeing that that NATO canteen cup kit sort of thing, and I'm talking specifically about the Mark II. That's what I'm trying to imitate here. So let me get this out of the way. You'll see that the flames are actually licking there. And then, before the fuel is gone, it will boil. And I've done it in the past where it will it will boil just for a little bit, and then the fuel will be gone. Now, if I want it to continue boiling, if I want to cook, the simple thing is just for me to add, more fuel, just to replace or replenish the fuel inside the can. So it's not exactly continuous, but it's possible. But the only sort of foods that you could cook in there with this system that I have are the ones that are quick cooking, like noodles. Rice takes a while to cook. You can't have it too hot or the rice will burn. And you have to. I think I've refilled it like 2 or 3 times just to be able to cook rice in a canteen cup like this. So instant noodles will actually work, but not rice. Don't even think about stew or anything. That won't work. To be able to actually cook with an alcohol stove, you need a bigger stove. So I've made bigger alcohol stoves using bigger cans, the 300 ml sort of cans, and my favorite ones are the Pepsi ones because of the shape of the bottom. But just for this, I have to use, the small ones just so that it could actually fit inside the pocket. Now, for instance, if you want to use a bigger one, like, the Prangia type stoves, they could actually fit in there and they could actually go a long way, and you could actually go and boil for longer and ostensibly cook for longer. So I did say I was going to do this in real time, but I'm going to shut up now and then see how this is going. This is the first sunny day we've had in a while. It's been really chilly. It was freezing this morning, as in literally freezing, 0 degrees Celsius. There was a lot of frost on the ground, but as soon as the sun came up, you could see the frost actually misting and turning into steam and going into the air. It's a very pretty sight. So let me see if I could zoom in a little bit here so that you could see what it looks like. Now that's the nice thing about this setup too, because I've had issues with the wind, and this kind of works like a windscreen. Of course, you have to have this open spot, away from the wind. You have a little bit of a breeze coming from like over there, and it's blowing across. But as you can see, it's not actually making a big dent on how the smoke actually works. So you can see the steam is beginning. It should be boiling very soon, except that the flames are dying, and the flames have died. But, as you can see, the steam, it was very close to boiling. Possibly because it's a winter day and I'm doing it outside. But what I'll do is I'll put just a little bit more, and you'll see just a little bit more of the methylated spirits. Well, let me just angle that a little bit as well. Yep, so I didn't put in a lot. Didn't put in a lot, but put that back in. So the last time I tested this was, I've been using it usually during autumn or summer holidays, mostly for autumn camping, so the temperatures aren't so bad. I guess because of the cold, it didn't bloom too soon. It burned too much of the fuel up. But I tell you that I did make several versions of that can. Some are a bit taller, some are a bit shorter, and this is the size where it actually brings me to a boil, and about a minute of boiling before it finally hits. So it's only because it's a winter day, I think. You know how alcohol stoves are on when it's too cold. Usually need a little bit more to prime it. And I think there we have it. Let's see if I could show a little bit of it at the top over there. Yep, there you have it. Proof you could actually boil water in a canteen cup in a setup. But yeah, the problem is it won't boil for very long before the fuel dies out. And if I've wanted to cook anything on this, every time I want to cook anything on this, I'd always refill. I'd always refill the fuel. So for instant noodles, I only have to refuel it by half. If you have instant soup, even better. You don't even have to get it to a boil. It's just better for a boil and all that and everything. But yeah, there you go. So I'm posting this as a response to Boondockery's video. Link in the description. You don't have to like or subscribe because I'm not actually a YouTuber. I don't have any of the infrastructure up where I could actually benefit from it. But if you want, you could share this video. Thank you. Have a good day.